In this episode, we discuss topics such as suicidal ideation and depression. These subjects may be distressing or triggering to some viewers. If you or someone you know is struggling, we encourage you to seek support. Resources and services are listed in the description below.
Okay. So nerve-wracking every single time, but it's so important.
Why? What's nerve-wracking?
The whole experience.
No,
being
you're
vulnerable
awesome.
is nerve-wracking.
Oh, no,
Are you
you're
kidding?
Awesome. You know what's beautiful about people who are vulnerable? They're able to talk about it because a lot of people can't talk about it. So when people are vulnerable who can talk about it, it makes the room just real. And that's something that's missing in life.
I agree.
On camera in any shape, form, or fashion. And that's when you get the best performances out of actors who are doing movies and television and film and everything like that. But if you can't be vulnerable, then you can't be real. So
That's right, and you can't connect.
No.
And you, yeah.
not at all.
For
I'm
this.
gonna stop talking.
This
You go
is great.
ahead.
No.
You go ahead.
I might even include some of that in. 'Cause that was beautiful what you just
It's
said.
all good.
Hang on, John. Save some of the wisdom for the episode.
Okay, I will. I'll be
All
quiet.
right.
You do your thing.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to The Vulnerable, a mental health podcast run by voice actors where we prove that vulnerability is something to be proud of. My name is Kennedy Hibbert. I'm a voice actor. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm a human being, and I'm so excited to have you here today. I am so just stoked for this conversation that we're about to have, so I hope you will join me and our amazing guest, who I'm super excited to introduce. Speaking of our guest, it's time for me to share the vulnerability of the week. If you're new to the podcast, we start every episode with the vulnerability of the week. It's where I go first before our guest and share something that makes me feel vulnerable. And I definitely do feel vulnerable sharing this because John Eric Bentley is our guest today. And John, I was so nervous to reach out to you.
Why?
Everyone we've had on the podcast so far has been a friend of mine, someone that I knew beforehand. This is the first time we've ever met.
Oh,
When I
that's true.
reached out to your team, I knew that this podcast the mission was so important, but for some reason, these little bits of doubt crept in about, who am I as a voice actor? Do I have enough credits? What's the podcast? Do we have enough views? Is the podcast good enough? Am I good enough?
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of fear. But if you guys watched our episode with Kate Clark recently, you'll know that recently I'm really trying to get out of my daydreams and make my desires a reality. John, you know this because I put it in the email, but the first day I created this podcast, you were on the list for people I wanted to talk to.
Oh, wow. I forgot you wrote that. Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
You did
and
write that.
for reasons that I'm sure we will see here today. But thank you for being here.
Are you kidding me? Listen, let's be honest. The first time that Kennedy wrote me, so I got this letter from my agents, and it said, "Hey, Kennedy, this is Kennedy. This is a letter that someone wrote to us, and she reached out and she wants to, interview you." I'm like, okay. I got halfway through the letter, and I was like, yeah, we're good. We're good. I was like, when is it? If I can do it, let's do it. Because what you don't know is I only had, at the time, 2.5 weeks to be in town.
Oh, wow.
So they were like, well, you can do it when you get back. I'm like, nope, let's do it. It's on a Saturday.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
We got Saturday. I'm going to do it.
And
Yeah.
I'm so glad you did. Because, again, this mission is more important than a million views on a podcast. It's more important than 100 voiceover roles. Like, this podcast is good enough. I am good enough to have these conversations. And I guess that's the takeaway of today's vulnerability of the week is no matter who you are worthy of connecting with people, no matter who they are, because we're just people. We all have stories to share, and it's important that we be with each other.
Yeah.
So thank you.
People need community.
Absolutely.
Bottom line. We found that out the hard way through COVID. And I guess if I'm going to share my vulnerability, I got the role of Barret Wallace in Final Fantasy VII. And I remember a friend of mine, Alex Main, who we talked about, runs
That's right.
KugelCon. He said, "Oh, you have no clue how big this is." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it's Final Fantasy, man. I played this when it came out." And he's like, "Yeah, you really don't understand." But I didn't understand what he meant. And I think even beyond what he meant, as far as the role being big, how long this would be with a 3-part series, what I didn't know and what I didn't realize was that it was going to reach people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to reach people during a time, which was COVID, where they were stuck and shut in and didn't have communication. They didn't have community. And I got a lot of people telling me about how the game got them through things. And I'll never forget the people who have told me, there's multiple people who have told me, hey, listen, I was going through it. I was kind of losing it. I thought I was going to kill myself, or I thought I was going to get a divorce, or I thought, something bad, something that would be detrimental to their lives in some shape, form, or fashion. And they said, hey, but the game got me through, and you were funny as Barret, and I just got through. And I'm going, whoa. So whatever this platform is that has been given to me, this mantle, I guess you would call it, I want to make sure that I reach out to people wherever, whenever I can go. So a vulnerable thing for me is I was always introverted. I was an only child. I wore thick glasses when I was a little kid. And, my mom taught me to read. So I was a nerd. But
she's
also,
a teacher, right?
Yeah, she's a teacher.
That's right.
And I also played a lot of sports. Sports kind of got me out of the, being, sheltered and mindset of just narrowness. But whenever I see people who I was like coming up, my heart just goes out. So when I see people at conventions, I'm different at conventions, and it's like a lot of people say, "Hey, how you doing?" And everybody's got their own way of doing things. They sign the pictures and, "Hey, nice to meet you, thank you." For me, I don't like sitting down behind the table. I want to be in front of the table. I want to make sure people are doing okay. I ask people, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Where are you from? I want to know how people are doing, because ever since people reached out to me, whether it's through social media or whether it's from whenever I got to meet them, when they reached out to me and said, hey, this game got me through it, and I'm here today because of this game, or because of your role, or because of the words you shared. Whenever that happens, I want to make sure that I'm connected with the people, because you never know. I figure I have this much time on earth, this much time in the interactions I have, and this much time to meet people when I do conventions. So while I'm here on earth, I'm going to do the best I can to give people the part of me that I think I'm here to be for them.
That's right. So is that part of like your center, is you mentioned that community?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be, I think when we hear the word community, we think like a big group of people. But it can even just mean those one-on-one interactions.
One-on-one interactions are probably some of the most potent situations you can find yourself in. I mean, we're one-on-one right now.
Yeah.
And this is usually where the intimacy comes in, when you get to talk, when you get to share, when you get to hear, when you get to listen, when you become vulnerable. Into me see is what intimacy is to me. And so
never thought of it that way.
Yeah. So that's how I look at it.
That's amazing. So I'd love to know kind of where this all started for you. Was that something that was really integral to like your childhood? Was that sense of community, or was that something that you fostered over time?
I was an only child, and my mom taught me to read at a very young age. So I was not sheltered as a child, but I wanted to play. I wanted a brother or a sister, and I didn't have one. I was adopted. So I grew up on the south side of Chicago, which is straight hood. But the minute I got outside to play, I'd be like, hey, how you doing? My name is Eric. What's yours? I was like that puppy. I was like, what's
That's
next?
right.
Oh, squirrel. ADD was kicking in at a very young age.
Well, and you didn't have any siblings. I mean, you had to get out there and be social, right?
I was starving for friends. I was, so I was that person. Hey, how you doing? My name is Eric. What's your name? And people looked at me like, hey, man, where this dude from? You know what I mean? So it started, I think, there where I realized, I needed, aside from my parents, I needed peers. Right? I needed someone my age. I needed someone I could play sports with. And so that longing to have a friend, first it started off longing to have a brother. It started off longing to have a pet,
Did you ever get one?
I got a fish.
Oh.
I lived in Chicago on the third floor, above Leon's barbecue in the hood. So it was like, I'm going to get a fish. They weren't going to give me a dog or a cat because they didn't want to clean up or have the responsibilities, because my mom was a teacher. She worked like crazy. My dad worked with his hands. He was a steel mill worker. I wasn't going to take care of the pet because I didn't know how. And I was in school being shipped back and forth. So, it was kind of like that. So I just gave you all kind of insight on my shortcomings and, vulnerabilities.
Yeah, no kidding. And thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you got
That's
it.
amazing.
You got it.
And so now these days, that's really carried over, right? I mean, you talked about when you go to conventions, you really try to be one-on-one with people because you don't know what they're going through.
You never know. You never know. And I want them to know they're not alone. I want them to know that they can get through it. I'm a living, breathing testimony of it, battling with depression, not realizing I had it. My wife looking up one day and going, hey, look, I think you need to go to the doctor.
When did that happen?
Maybe in my 40s. She said, it's like walking on eggshells around here. And I was like, what? I'm so friendly. She's like, yeah, you're friendly to everybody outside the house. And I was like, oh, she's like, you're friendly to us, but I have 4 boys too. She's like, you're friendly to us, but we never know. It's up and down. I'm like, okay. So I went in and I realized, oh. The doctor started asking me this battery of questions.
Oh, did they give you the paper?
Yeah, the paper. They didn't give it to me. He just started asking me.
Oh.
But my doctor's like, like Bueller. He's kind of like that. So he's going, yeah, John, tell me. And he would look up after each question, and he had this look on his face that I had never seen. He'd look at me like this. And my doctor, he's like a poker face guy, right? And he's like, and I'm like,
what's wrong?
What's going on? Yeah, all that vulnerability came like, what's wrong? I'm like, I answered the question, and I'm just like, what's the next question? And by the time he got like halfway through, he didn't even get to the end. He said, John, I'm not supposed to do this, but these questions that you're answering, you are manic depressant as where we are right now. He said, I'm not even done with this list. He's like, you're battling depression. I'm like, what? And so I was like, no way. He's like, have you ever thought about taking yourself out? I'm like, taking myself out, what, to dinner? He's like, no, like suicide. I'm like, no. And I'm like, no, I haven't. But boy, it sure would be different without, so I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? So I don't ever want to meet someone that I haven't shown that they matter and that they are cared for here on this earth and walk away, right? I want to make sure they know that. So that's why I'm a hugger. I'm like, whatever God's given me, whatever peace that he's given me, whatever joy he's given me, if I can rub that off on someone else, whether it be a hug, whether it be a handshake, whether it be just a friendly gesture and a smile, then that's what I think I'm here to do.
And thank you for sharing that. I
mean, because
you do come off very, very positive, very optimistic. You're so nice to everyone. But there is the sensitivity in you that I can see probably came from understanding the hard times and not wanting other people to experience that too.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And I think that's so important for, us video game fans too. A lot of the times.
Especially us fanboys and fangirls and nerds. It's so important.
Yeah, and those people you meet at conventions, I mean, there is so much overlap between the people who are struggling and the people who turn to this media as a form of escape and for comfort.
For peace of mind.
Yeah. If it's okay, I'd love to go even deeper because I've also battled depression and I can guarantee you so many people watching right now either have or are right now too. So I'd love to know how you got from A to Z. What was your impression of depression before you were diagnosed with it?
So I didn't understand depression. Like when I saw someone say, "Yeah, I'm emo," I'm like, "What does that mean?" And I said, "You mean you're goth?" I was like, "No, I'm emotional." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And they explained it to me. I'm like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh, I can relate to that." But I didn't realize, no, there's time. You're seeing me good now, but you really don't know what emo is, John. I'm like, oh. And they explained it to me. I'm like, that's, and that didn't come to memory until after the doctor told me, hey, man, you're battling depression. But this is the craziest thing. So my doctor said, hey, you're dealing with depression. I can give you this medication that can help you with your highs and your lows. And I'm like, okay, sure. And I tried the medication, and I'll never forget, I don't like medicine like that. So I didn't want to take the medication, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take it because today I can feel this coming on. But my sons were like, hey, let's go to Six Flags. I'm like, can we take it? I'm sure I'll take you to Six Flags. You guys get on everything else. I'm going to take you, and I'm going to sit down and relax. And, I was like, I better take this medication because I can feel myself. You can feel it coming on.
Yes, it's like a physical pain, right?
It's an ache, and it's a fluttering, it's an anxiety, oh my God, it's like all these things hit you at once. And I'm like, oh, and then mood swings come in, so I can feel it coming. I'm like, I'm going to take these guys to Magic Mountain, and I am going to just have some funnel cake, right? It's just something. So, but I like Magic Mountain too because I like getting on rides. And I knew they weren't going to get on the same rides I was going to get on, and I couldn't keep up with them, right? I'm like, you guys go play. And I took that doggone pill. I don't remember what it was. And I kid you not, Kennedy, people who know me know this story. I felt like the Black Jim Morrison from The Doors. I got on every ride, every roller coasters that I wouldn't normally get on. I got on every one of them. And I'll never forget being on one of the rides and going, wow, this is really cool. We are way up. Wow. It was just this experience. It was like a trip, And I'm like, I don't like this. After I started kind of coming down off of it, I'm like, I don't have control.
Yeah.
And that's another part of dealing with depression. You want control over certain things. So there was an OCD element in it. There's an ADHD element in it. There's so many different little elements in it for me. And I didn't have control. And I'm like, whoa. I did things that I would normally not do. Is this what it's like when people are on X? Is this what it's like when people are, on Quaaludes? And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this. So I didn't take it again. And I'll never forget, at the time, I had a chiropractor, and his assistant was a dear friend of ours who our kids went to school with. That's how I found him anyway. And her name was Anna. And Anna said, hey, you can take this stuff called Depraloft. It's a supplement. You don't have to deal with depression. Depraloft and St. John's Wort. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, I take it all the time. I said, you deal with depression? She said, all the time. I'm like, I never knew. That's the thing about it. We don't talk about it a lot.
That's right.
Most
There's a
people don't
lot
talk about
hidden
it.
behind the scenes.
So I tried it, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. I knew when the mood swings were coming. I could feel. I'm like, and my wife said, hey, I don't know what it is that you're doing. She said, I know you had a bad experience with that other drug that the doctor gave you, but whatever this is, it's okay now. We don't feel like we're walking on eggshells now. I'm like, all right, great. So I took it for years. And turns out that a lot of the stuff that I was dealing with was also my diet, a lot, And I know as a gamer, man, from back in the day, you get your Taco Bell or you get whatever fast food, you get some Snickers or some Twixes, and you just ready to eat afterwards. Oh, yeah, and you're good. You're gaming, you're having fun. The joy you're getting is from what you're playing, but you're not realizing that you're isolated. It's just you and the game and the joysticks. What happens when the element of people come in, right? Or you're on your headset and you're dealing with people. So I realized I can deal in this society right here, in this little world that I've created. But what happens when I go outside of it? And oh, by the way, you're married and have 4 kids, right? So there's all these different elements that came alongside of it. So
sounds like a perfect storm.
Oh, yeah. I kind of call it Mount Vesuvius. It's the perfect storm.
That's a good word for it.
So I kind of realized this is what I need to do. So I took Depraloft for years, and it helped me deal with depression and so many other different issues.
I'm really glad. Yeah, I'm glad that you were able to see what you needed and go for it. We talked a little bit about medication in one of our episodes lately with Aiden Don. You guys should totally check it out if you haven't. And we mentioned that, sometimes we're given medication and it doesn't work for us, but we have the option to say, hey, this isn't working.
Right.
Because that's something I experienced. Psychiatrist said, here you go. I said, okay. I took it. I felt terrible that I stopped taking it and I didn't tell anybody. But I didn't know that, we know ourselves better than anyone.
Yeah.
We can say something. Hey, I think I need to go a little bit lower. I need to go a little bit higher. Or I need to change something entirely.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad you found something that worked for you.
Yeah, it took a minute. I mean, you're talking about 45, 46 years old, 46 years into life and realizing this. Just realizing that I would take things personal. But then I also realized this whole concept of being an empath. I never realized what that was until probably about, I'd say, 7 years ago. I feel people's feelings. And that's something that you have to take into consideration too.
Yeah. Big time.
There's a lot going on in here and in
absolutely.
Here,
And as we briefly mentioned, it's all hidden most of the time. When we go out into the world, I mean, you never know who's dealing with what.
Truth.
And I feel like we still as a society understand it so little. What would you say are some of the misconceptions that people have about depression?
Oh, they call you, they label you as lazy. I'll never forget being in college and one of my peers who was older than me in grad school was like, you're really good and you're a good person, but you're lazy as hell. I'm like, what do you mean lazy? And he went on to go through this list of things that I didn't do. Now, granted, he was type A personality, and so I understood what he was saying, but I was like, I'm not lazy. I did this, this, and this. I just don't work like you, right? And so it became an issue where people want to label you, whether it's lazy or whatever else it could be. People want to label you and put you in a box. And I'm like, oh, they don't see the creative side. And then they got to the point like what you were talking about. Oh, if I could just, maybe I'm not. And you start listening to what people say, and you can't let that be your narrative. You can't let it stick. You can't let it get to your head and your heart, because if you do, then they have just pretty much controlled your narrative, So you got to go into, well, what's my perspective? What's my life perspective? And for me, I had to figure out what I was strong at. I'm strong at communication. I'm strong at leadership. I'm strong at compassion. I'm strong at caring, speaking, and I had to find out what those things were, and that became my why. I always say 2 things that are important in life is the day that you were born, and then the day that you find out why. And,
Wow.
for me, it's kind of like, well, I had to find that why, through a series of trials and error, but when I realized, oh, I'm not just here for me. I'm not just here for me. First, it started off with, I'm here for my wife. I'm here for my sons. And then it was like, oh, I'm here for other people, to uplift, to edify, to encourage,
Yeah.
to bring joy. Those are the things. When I realized it wasn't just about me, it stopped being about self, and it started being about selfless. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Some people can get caught up in that and not take care of themselves, which is what I wasn't doing, eating wrong, and But some people get caught up in that, and they don't realize it's not about you, man. It's not about you. If you would just stop focusing on all your negatives, all the things that you're going through, and look at someone else who might be less fortunate than you are, and try to speak love into then it becomes about, oh, I don't have time to be caught up in my stuff. My stuff is nothing. This is nothing compared to how can I help? And it's not always a financial thing. Sometimes it's just, I'm a good listener. Sometimes it's just, ooh, share that with me. Let me share my heart and my experience. Maybe that can help you. And sometimes it's just, hey, let me pray. Because I know for me, my faith, that's the only thing that's gotten me through life.
Yeah.
And I can tell you several situations where I'm like, prayer is the only thing that's gotten me through. So, you got to find it. You got to find where you are.
That's right.
I just said a whole lot. I'm sorry.
No, that was
Did I answer your
beautiful.
question? I'm sorry. Sorry.
It really is a fine line between seeing what we need, taking care of ourselves, and then using that energy forward for other people too, right? Because ultimately that's what's going to make us feel good, right?
Totally.
Is service and connection. I feel like, connection and community is going to be such a big theme today. Because that's the missing puzzle piece every single time.
Yeah, it's like, how do you feel? My wife told me one day, she said, hey, you do a lot of things for a lot of people, including us. Like, all the stuff you do for us is incredible. Have you taken time to do anything for yourself today? And I'm like, today? And I had to stop and think about it. And then after a while, she would ask me, have you taken time for yourself? And I'm like, well, what is time for myself? And she said, have you filled up your bucket? Because you keep emptying it out to everyone else. And when she said that, I had to stop and think, and I'm like, but I like that. And she was like, yeah, I hear you, but where do you replenish?
Yeah.
So I had to literally find things that brought me joy or being replenished.
Yeah, my friends call those giving and taking spoons.
Yes.
There are some activities that give you spoons, and there are some that take them away.
Literally.
But,
it's good, but you got to know that. And I know it sounds simple, and I know it sounds childish, but these are things that are important, and hopefully they're tools that help someone fill up their toolbox with.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know these things. I thought I was doing them, but I actually wasn't, because I was like, go, 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 go. our Western culture teaches us work, work, work. You got to do this. You got to do this to get this. And you got to say this to get that. And it's like, well, wait a minute. The minute I traveled overseas is the minute I went, oh, we're babies in this world. You see Rome and you're like, wait a minute. That Colosseum was up when Jesus walked around? And you just go, wait a second. Okay.
I know we've only been around for a few hundred years over here.
It's like,
it's crazy.
It's like you go to any museum out of the country and you're going, 16th century. What? So I'm humbled when I go. We went to Italy as a family, and I got to see everything that I read about as a child.
Yeah.
Michelangelo's pieces, Donatello's pieces, the Sistine Chapel, all these different things. I'm going, wow, this was here way before people created this. This is their mind. And I went, oh, this is that creative side of me that was always in me that, okay, I just used it through voiceover or television and cameras and film and, for singing. And, so we all have it in us. So I would always tell people, dare to be vulnerable, dare to go out and go at what you're after, dare to, if you want to be an actor, great, awesome, but dare to be an actor. Meaning, don't just say, hey, wake up in the morning, I want to be an actor. Don't make yourself vulnerable by saying that and trying to go after it without studying, without finding out what to do, without finding out what it takes, without getting some knowledge about it. Dare to be different, right?
Yeah.
And not be put in the box that the world will try to put you in.
Or the box that you put yourself in your head too, right?
Yeah. I always tell people, hey, listen, do you know yourself? What do you know about you? And how do you care about you? And how much do you care about you? And if you don't know, then ask someone who you really trust how you feel and look to you. Not just, hey man, what do you think about me? I could ask anyone that I trust and know, but what do you think I think about me? That's the question. How do you see me seeing myself? If you're my intimate friend, how do you see me seeing me? That's the question. Because that person can say, hey, you beat yourself up all the time. Hey, you might need to do something that makes you happy. Hey, I think you should slow down a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody's opinions don't always.
No, but you're right. We gotta reach out to those people that really we know understand us and have our backs. And
ask them how they see you see yourself.
That's beautiful. What would you say to people watching this right now that we talked about earlier, that pit in your chest when you're dealing with depression? What would you say to people who are struggling with that?
The one thing that I didn't know how to do, what camera do I look in to tell people?
This one right here.
This one right here? Mm-hmm. In that situation, breathe. Take a breath. We always, as a kid, when I played sports, my coach said, hey, when in doubt, fire out. It means go forward. Just go through it. And I am a strong proponent. And hey, listen, if you're going through hell, go through it. Don't stop and pick up the flowers, and smell them. Because if you're going through it, it's going to burn a little bit more. Just keep going through so you can get to the other side to help someone else. But when you're in that situation where you feel anxiety or you feel pressure or you feel that feeling that we talk about, that's just like, take a breath. That where it seems that you're not letting it out, breathe, take a deeper breath. Think about the situation and think before you speak. Take a deep breath before you speak and assess where you are and then know that you're okay. Because a lot of times I didn't know I was okay. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to make sure I got through it. And it's like, well, wait a second. Let me just, that is what I'm feeling. Okay. And you have to tell the person or the people that you're around or whatever situation it is. You can be by yourself. You have to tell yourself sometimes, I'm good. I'm going to be okay. Or I just need a minute. Bear with me. That's what I would say. Because if I would have known that, if I would have just slowed down, then I would have been able to assess, it's me, not the situation.
That's right.
Or not the other person or people. So take that minute to breathe, man. Mm-hmm. Take a minute to catch your breath.
That's
really
what
important. I would say.
Thank you for sharing that.
I learned it the hard way, so I don't want anybody to learn it the hard way.
Yeah.
It's not fun learning it the hard way.
No, unfortunately, that is the beauty in it, though, is we do learn through our darkest times, our hardest experiences.
I just don't want people to learn it the hard way and think that there's no way out. That's my biggest. That's one of my biggest fears, that people would not realize that they're loved, that they're cared about, that you don't have to take yourself out.
Something I have not yet talked about on this podcast, but really the core of why I started this podcast was exactly what you're talking about, suicide prevention. I experienced that when I was 16. My mom had gotten diagnosed with breast cancer. My friends weren't there anymore. Remember earlier how you were talking about those people that come up to you at conventions and they say that Final Fantasy VII saved their life? Mm-hmm. That's me.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me any of that in the letter. How so?
I was 16. My mom was sick, and I was really, really close with her due to other extremely traumatic event that really tied me to her very, very dependently. And when she got sick, she wasn't there anymore. My dad was he was working. I have 4 older brothers. They were all out of the house. My sister was too young, and I just felt alone. And there came some really dark moments where I had some very nasty voices in my head.
Yeah.
But I told myself, I can't end my life before I see the Final Fantasy VII Remake come out.
Oh.
Because I think before I even knew it was announced, I had just gotten into video games because all my friends were dudes and I wanted to be cool. I played the original, and it was the very first time I'd seen media so vulnerably share what mental health is like.
Yeah.
Share the loss, share the grief and the vulnerability, especially for like its male protagonists to go through. That really hit me. And I couldn't die before I saw the remake come out.
Oh, come here. I'm sorry. I know we're breaking all the barriers and everything. Come here, little mama. Thank you for sharing that. That's real. I thank you for that.
No, I thank you for your work in it, and any part that you may have played. It means the world to me that I'm just sitting here talking to you about this.
I didn't know. That's wow.
But it was a few weeks before I started the podcast that I found the journal that I kept during that time. When I was 16, very, very mentally ill, clinically depressed. I'd just gotten diagnosed with anxiety disorder. The things I wrote in that journal about myself, about my surroundings, I saw how sick I was, and it terrified me. It's, they say trauma messes with your memory. I didn't remember any of that. Yeah. I didn't remember just how much I believed those lies in my head. And the thought that there are other people out there right now struggling with that same thing is what I dealt with.
Yeah, it's real.
It's so real.
It's real.
And people need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because this world is way, way too beautiful to leave.
It really is. And I'm going to share. Yeah. So there is a song Sam Cooke sings called "You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You." And it says, so go on out and find somebody to love. But the song is saying the world stays the same. You'll never change it as long as the skies are above. But what you got to know is you're nobody until somebody loves you. And I found out within that that somebody has got to be you first. And the voices in our head, the people in our lives, there's always going to be something negative. There's always going to be something to try to take you out. And I always say this, those of you who are struggling with anxiety disorder, dealing with depression to a point where you want to not be part of this world right now, let me put on my dad hat. 1, you're loved by the Creator who created you to be here. Bottom line. 2, you have to be here because you getting through this is the testimony, as you just heard, that someone else needs to hear to know that they can get through it. I shared it earlier about, I realized that it's not just about me. It's not just about you right now. People need to see that you can get through it because they need you. There's so many of us that need you. I need you. I need to meet you one day. I need to see you at a convention. I need to see your smile. I need to know this experience that I just found out about the game. And if you like the game, whatever project that I'm doing, I want to meet you one day. So you have to reassess and not do it. You don't have to take yourself out because you think that it will be better. It's not better. The world's not a better place with you not being here. The world will be a better place with you being here because you're going to be able to reach out to that next person and that next person. And who knows, that person might reach out to more people and we can stop this from happening and we can all meet up and see each other and be like, yeah, look what I overcame and look what I was able to overcome so that the next person cannot give up and overcome. And that goes on your record that you help them not overcome, not be overcome, but be the overcomer. All right, so that's important. Like what you're doing right now, if you would have left us, we wouldn't have this.
Yeah.
If you would have left us, so many people wouldn't know that there are other people like me. If you would have left us, I would have never gotten to meet you.
That's right.
And your heart is so special and so real. If you would have left us, you wouldn't have found out what the game was going to be about.
That's
and
right.
There's part 3, so you really can't go nowhere.
I know. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
And after part 3, you can't either.
No.
But we need you.
Yeah.
And obviously, this hit you so hard that you're like, I got to make sure that the next person doesn't do what I thought about doing.
Yeah.
So.
And that's why I'm here, too.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're both here.
Right.
And if I can jump off that beautiful message that you just shared, now I'm going to turn to my camera. And for anyone who's watching this right now, I just want you to know that me sitting in this chair, in this room, in this building, with this earth under my feet, with this friend at my side, I am proof. I'm living proof that you can do it.
Living, breathing proof.
That's right. My heart beats. I have breath in my chest. And that is enough. And it's worth it just for those 2 things.
Yes.
You can do it.
Yep.
You can do it. Trust me, if I can. Little me, who was so alone and confused and messed up and traumatized and just wanting nothing more than to give up. If I can do it, so can you. Please reach out.
Yeah.
Reach out to a therapist. Reach out to a friend. Reach out to me. We need you here. I need you here.
Yeah.
That is what has become my purpose.
And she's a baby. She's super young. I'm telling you right now, had no one ever told me this, I probably would have been in the same situation as well. But life gets better. It does. It actually does. Because, like I said, once you go through that whole vulnerable mess that you're going through, you become a walking, living, breathing testimony. The test that you were handed, you have gotten through, so now you can speak on it and help someone else get through it. So
That's right.
Don't stop. John Baptiste has a song called Don't Stop. Oh my gosh, it's one of the most beautiful songs in the world. It was when his wife was diagnosed with all these different ailments and these issues and given basically a life sentence. And he said, hey, when it comes to loving me, don't stop.
That's right.
So if I can tell anybody that when it comes to loving the game, when it comes to loving Kennedy, when it comes to loving hey, don't stop. Don't stop. We need you.
That's right. And to piggyback again off of what you just said, life gets better. Not only does it get better, it gets beautiful.
Yeah.
It gets amazing.
Yeah.
Like your greatest moments of joy are still ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
they will be so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Every single step.
Yes. You are loved.
1000%.
And even if I haven't met you yet, you are loved. And I will meet you and show you that you are loved.
And me too.
Kennedy will do the same.
That's right.
You are loved. There's something to be said about, it was a full moon last night.
Beautiful,
and,
right?
It's wild when you look up and you go, wow, he hung the stars and the moon for us. He hung the sun and the stars for us. And I look up and I see a sunset. And I got to go to a beach and watch the sunrise. I'm like, wow, there's just something about the water and something about nature.
Mm-hmm.
And those are places that I go to fill my bucket,
Yeah.
and those are the times I remember. My dad used to take me fishing. We used to watch the sun come up. And, so all these different little things help me to go, oh, we got another day? Okay. So I changed my whole mindset. When I get up in the morning, it's like, oh, as soon as I step out of the bed, it's kind of like, oh, the devil's mad today. That dude just woke up again. Oh, dang it, what am I going to do now? What do I have to send after him now? So don't be tormented by knuckleheads and voices and the voices of people who are doubters and naysayers, man. We need you. We need you. We need to see your smile. We need to see your joy. We need to hear your voices, because you're going to be the walking, living, breathing example and testimony for someone else to get through what you're going through right now.
That's right. John, tell me about one of your most memorable experiences connecting with people.
I have several, but I will tell you this one. I think it was at KupaCon, and a woman came up to say hi and get an autograph, and I said, I'm a hugger. Is it okay if I hug you? She's like, no, I'm okay. And I was like, okay, no problem. And I said, are you sure? Because, I just want to make sure you're good and, everything is cool. Because I could tell she was hurting, and I didn't know how. I could just tell. And she's like, oh, okay, I guess. I was been sitting in line and saw you hugging everybody else. I guess I'll take one. And so I said, okay, great. Thank you so much for allowing me to be able to do that. And she went, what? I was like, well, I want to make sure it's okay.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, okay. And I hugged her, and I just hugged her briefly, but I hugged her like she was a daughter, right? And I let her go. She's like, oh. I was like, you okay? She's like, yeah. She's like, thank you. I was like, no problem. And then we signed and we talked, and, they have a party at the end of the night, and I got to see her later, and we talked. She said, did you have fun today? I had a blast. Thank you so much. And I got to meet people, and I wanted her to meet other people. I was like, let me go and show you these people and these people. So I'm running all around showing her people. And then I saw months later a post, because I like to read my stuff, even the negative stuff. And someone said something about John Bentley's hugs. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I never thought about it like
Famous.
And then she had written, I never realized I needed this man's hug so much in my life. Man, to this day, that floors me, because I knew she was hurting, but I didn't take the time to, ask questions. I didn't want to put her on the spot or embarrass her or anything. And she said, the way and I'm like butchering how she wrote it, but she said something like, I never realized how much I needed that man's hug. And I went, oh, she didn't realize that she was a lovely person. She didn't realize that she was special. She didn't realize that anybody cared. And I saw all that happen, but I didn't address it, of course, And I just was like, oh, okay, that was a good hug. If I can touch the world with this kind of hug, then we'll be okay. But what the thing was is that it was during a time where I was dealing with stuff in my life where it was like, man, will I be able to be on camera again? Or, man, is this game really affecting people? Or will I have other work? Or I got to take care of my family, and financially, I don't know where. Talking about going through stuff of self-worth, right? Just dealing. And so that hug was just as much for me as it was for her. And you realize that when you're in the midst of it. And I'll never forget that experience. I've got several other experiences that have shaped like why I do what I do. I created everyone says, hey, you want to do a panel? I'm like, okay, a panel is cool. People sit around and ask you questions and they're awesome. But I'm like, can I do my own panel? So I did a panel called Dropping Knowledge in the Green Room. And it talks about almost what we're talking about now, and basically I will open it up to in the end and say, hey, does anybody have any questions? Because people want to be voiceover actors and everything.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, nobody wants to talk about, hey, I want to be a voiceover actor. They want to go, hey, when you dealt with this, how did you do that? Or I dealt with this, and I'm like, beautiful. No one talks about this as fanboys and fangirls and nerds. No one talks about why people are arguing about ships. I don't care about people arguing about ships, man. It's like, it's a video game.
Mm-hmm.
But if this stimulates a conversation where we can talk about why that's so important to you as opposed to you breathing life into the next person, then let's talk about that. So it's just fun. It's fun to have this, like I say, I call it a platform to be able to just chop it up and share and love on one another. It's a good thing. So I talked a lot. I'm gonna stop talking.
No, I love it, and I think now we can say with confidence, like you guys who are listening and watching, you see why I asked John to be on this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, when they have those platforms, they either don't know how to utilize it or they utilize it for, I think, maybe the wrong reasons. But it just says so much about, I think, your inner strength and your compassion and kindness and your upbringing even, too, of recognizing that this is an opportunity to make changes in people's lives that are more than just a video game role.
Yeah, I just care about people.
Yeah.
It's a lost art, I think love is a lost art because it overcomes a multitude of sins. It helps you understand compassion. It helps you understand empathy. It helps you care about people. I care about people. I care about where they're going. I care about where they're going when they die. I care about their hearts. I care about, how they're doing. So, I just think we, in our society here in the U.S. right now, we tend to forget that people are people and we need communication. We need community. We need compassion. We need empathy. People have forgotten that people care about people. We need communication, So that's just me.
I love that about you. I guess we'll segue into voiceover a little bit. We talked a little bit about it.
Okay.
Why do you think vulnerability is so important in your voiceover roles?
Because it's not real. It won't be real. It won't come off as real. If you're playing a character and you're just speaking the lines, I mean, this box, Kirkland signature facial tissue. All right, so it's Kirkland signature facial tissue. Doesn't mean anything. But if I go Kirkland signature facial tissue,
circle take,
it's different. It's because it's like, well, what kind of what is it? It's signature, but it's from Kirkland, and it is what? Facial tissue. It's something that you can actually use. You know what I mean? So how do we make the project real if we can't put some of us in it, and if we don't have some of us in it, then there's not going to be no vulnerability, right? So whatever that voice is, whatever that character is, you've got to give that character a backstory. You've got to give that character something that's near and dear, not just the voice, not just the words. How do you make the words come off the page? You can't do that if you don't have those things. Those are tools that you have to have.
That's right. Is it difficult to achieve that level of vulnerability sometimes?
Some are.
Yeah.
Some are. People think that vulnerability just comes when it's anger or it's sadness.
No.
So they think if you're shouting or if you're crying. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
No, you have to be able to take 2 lines, and if they're completely opposite lines, you have to be able to do what we call a reversal.
That's right.
Hey, how are you doing today? No, really, how are you doing today? You have to be able to take those lines and make them mean something. They have to mean more than what is written on the page. You have to make the writer, their job is to write the lines, and you have to be inside their heads to make those lines work and give them even more. That's your job as an actor, to make it real so that not only the listener or the viewer is going, ooh, but you are relaying to make them go, oh, that was tangible. That's your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is our job. And it is difficult sometimes. I like how you said that vulnerability isn't just, because a lot of people like to talk about the big screaming moments, the crying moments.
Especially in anime.
I was just going to say, especially in anime.
You know?
But vulnerability is also joy.
Yeah.
Like the question I'm going to ask you at the end of this is our what we call our most vulnerable question, which is what's your favorite thing about yourself? Like it's vulnerable to be self-accepting. It's vulnerable to be loving. It's vulnerable to be happy sometimes in certain situations.
I'm glad you gave me a pre-notion for that.
Hey,
I'm like, I don't know.
We'll get to that eventually.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree. It's so important because it makes these lines come off the page. It makes these characters pop out of the screen. And that is the moment when not only are we connecting with our characters, but people at home are connecting with them as well.
Yes. I mean, how many times have we seen a project done where someone's dialing it in and we go, oh, or they ruined the franchise, or oh, that didn't make sense. You know what I mean? And so you got to be connected. You got to be connected to the character. You have to be able to make it vulnerable, or and like you said, it's not just in the big moments. It has to be in the most intimate of intimate moments that character is like, ooh, I can relate to that, right? So
100%.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about a time in the booth that you can recall where you had to pull out a level of vulnerability and the way you achieved that, and then the way you came out of that safely?
Oh yeah. For Final Fantasy VII, anytime I got to be on the screen with Marlene, you know the backstory, without any spoilers, the backstory is he's got this little daughter, but this little daughter was obtained through his friend, his best friend. And so that is now his daughter. So he's not just carrying this little baby girl through this crazy world of Midgar and more, but he's also carrying the memory of his friend and how his friend, you know, is no longer the dad. I'm going to adopt you, little one. And so, and then even more so when some other stuff transpires, when he gets to realize who his friend is and different things, and he's still like, this is my baby girl. So I used my sons all to, you know, be Marlene. So there's in Final Fantasy Remake, the plate falls and I'm on one side and Marlene's on the other, I assume. And so my thing was, what if I was separated from my sons where I could never get back to them? And so that's where that came from for that. So that's just one instance.
Was that difficult to get into?
Oh, no.
No.
Because I you know, they're my sons.
Right.
All I have to do is visualize them.
That's
All
right.
I have to do is think about them.
Yeah.
And then put them on the other side of that wall. And, you know, then do the lines that were written, Marlene. But no, I do a thing called sense memory. And a lot of people like to do method acting, and then, you know, more power to them. I can't do the whole method acting thing. It's hard to come out of that.
No.
So sense memory is, how do I take this that actually happened in my life, or these people, or this situation that actually I can relate to, and apply it to whatever job I'm working on for the scene. And I just turned 56, so I've got a lot of life, a lot of life experience that I can relate to a lot of stuff that I do in the booth. So all I do is just take a memory and just put it. It's kind of like Harry Potter. Take a memory and just ding.
That's amazing. I love that. I tend to do very similar things. I like sense memory because it's not like method where you're really in it. So coming out of it is like painful, disorienting, all of that stuff. But with sense memory, do you sometimes have those moments where you come at, like, the director takes the line, you're good, either you're moving on or you're taking a break? Do you feel like you have to come back to yourself a little bit?
Depending on how emotional the scene is. There's a scene that I have with dying.
That's right.
And that one, I needed a moment after the scene. I needed a moment. And it was because of the sense memory that I used for the scene. And literally it being fresh. I think I just did something in the booth, and it was close to my father's birthday. And all I was thinking about was my father prior to going into the booth, prior to going into the week. And then I had to do a job. And my father's memory, he passed in 2017.
I'm sorry.
But his memory was in my head, like my times with him, because his birthday was, and so I took a minute. I was like, hey, can I use the bathroom after this line? I was like, yeah, take a minute, wash your face off, get some, coffee or water and go back in. But yeah, I always have to take a minute whenever I'm too close to a moment.
Yeah.
I'll take a minute. But that's why I can't do method, really. I did method once for a play called Free Fall. And, man, I couldn't break that character for months. Just when I found that character, I found him.
Yeah.
I found him. And, but to get out of that character was brutal.
And that is when it starts to become like, okay, this is not sustainable, not healthy.
It was like, because he was like this really smart kid who turned to drugs, and now he's in the streets and he's homeless, and his brother's a cop, and it's just it was like a lot, and I could not break that character, and, thank goodness I did. It was tough. It was tough. All the research that went in. I was just coming out of college. I was just coming out of grad school, and it was just like, wow, this is what method acting is. I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
No, I'm glad we're not doing that anymore. That sounds very difficult.
Literally.
But going back to that moment that you had in the booth recording Rebirth and having to take that moment, I'm glad that you shared that, because that really shows that you put yourself into that moment and that you cared about it.
Yeah.
Something that one of my favorite voiceover teachers, Craig Lee Thomas, instilled in me was, you can't play emotions. You can't.
They're not real.
No, there is no such thing. Yeah. You have to feel them. Yeah. And sometimes that opens wounds. And that's why we have to talk about vulnerability, and we have to harness it. We have to use it in meaningful, beautiful ways, but also protecting ourselves too.
Oh yeah. Dare to be vulnerable.
Dare to be vulnerable.
When you're performing, when you're acting, dare to be vulnerable, because that's when you're going to get the realest performance.
That's right.
It does no one any favors or anything to fake it. Well, I'm going to make sure. I remember I did this play once, and I was like, man, I can't cry. I don't have any tears this particular night, because I was just worn out. I was exhausted. And I'm like, man, how am I going to get some tears? And I told my buddy, I said, man, I got to get some tears going. He's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Pull some nose hairs. I was like, what? He said, pull some nose hairs. I was like, okay. So I pulled my nose hairs. Like, ow! Started crying. He said, there you go.
That's one way to do it.
That's one way to do it. But it actually took me there emotionally. It wasn't just producing the tears. It's like, that really hurt. Oh, I remember when I got hit in football. Let's go do this scene, So
Nice.
it was like, yep. It was like, there we go. So sometimes, there are times where you're like, I just don't have it. But in a voiceover booth, for me, I guess, because I've done a lot, it's like, oh, I got this. I'm not sharing a scene. I'm in a booth by myself.
That's right.
This.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that too. We're playing off of people that sometimes we hear the lines, but sometimes for the most part, no.
Everyone, we should just, dispel this myth right now. No one is in the booth with us when we do Final Fantasy.
That's right.
No one. We are not recording together as an ensemble. Every one of us are going in individually to do our job as this character. So we have two wonderful directors, Kirk Thornton and Bob, and they literally, man, they literally take what we do, put it together, and it becomes this thing. When you look at Final Fantasy and you look at a lot of projects that you see out there, whoever is putting it together, the credit does not. The voiceover actors, we do our thing, but man, credit falls short for the producers and the directors and the sound booth technicians and everyone who puts it together, the creative teams, the devs, everybody who is literally in Japan and here in the States.
That's right.
You got to give all you gotta understand there's a lot of hats in this.
That's right.
And when you put it together like that and you get something like that and the music, oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
And the gameplay.
It's
It's a
so
whole
good.
different level.
Gotta
Whole
go home and
different
play it.
I gotta go home and play it.
No, it's amazing. Yeah, no, but seriously, like credit where it's due, because that's something that I was like shocked going from like a game fan to being in the industry. It was like really the actors show up and they finish the rest of the work that everybody's already done.
Yeah.
The director was up all night reading the script,
Mm-hmm.
understanding everybody's intentions, everybody's lines. The engineer was prepping everything so you can hear the translation and getting all that stuff together.
Yep.
We really are just the last puzzle piece. We
Wow.
go in, we give our hearts, we adjust when needed, and then we leave.
It takes more than a village, man. It takes a nation to do this. It's like, this is wild. I'm just, oof.
But when you have such beautiful results, especially when on top of all that chaos, the actors are not even together,
Mm-hmm.
and still, specifically talking about Final Fantasy, it still just feels like such a close-knit family.
That's when you know you got a good team.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know we
Because
got a
then
good team
everyone is being vulnerable.
on all aspects.
Yeah.
It's just real. It gets real. So it's fun. It's fun to be a part of that. You don't often get projects like that.
That's right.
So when you get them, man, you hold on to them, you cherish them, you enjoy them while they ride, and you go along for that ride, and you do the work.
That's
you
right.
know?
Is there anything more you feel called to speak on?
Well, I want to ask you, because I didn't know a
Oh.
lot of those things, and you just,
Yeah.
I don't want to
Open
become
up
the
the floor.
interviewer, but I'm always fascinated. And I kind of expressed this, but I didn't. You are young, and you have such a heart of like an old soul, and you care about people. Your generation is different. You know, it's like usually it's kind of motivated, self-care.
We were isolated for a long time
isolated.
for school, yeah.
School, just when they did the COVID thing, it jacked everybody
Yeah.
up, both in middle school, high school, and in the collegiate levels. But you have an old soul, like you care about people, and you want to see people do well, and you aren't like so many kids. I call them kids because I'm older. That are your age. I mean, is that from your mom, your dad? I mean, what is it from going through what you went through?
I think all of the above. My mom is amazing. I mentioned it a few times. She is a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
She really does understand that, and I've always admired her for that. I've been interested in those ways too. But I think most of it did come from that really hard time. I think before that, I was a little bit more of that free-spirited kid who just took the world at face value and never really questioned anything. I mean, I had a little bit of anxiety, but it was during that time that I really understood the world and understood myself and understood what makes humans human and the spark inside each of our bodies that is so precious. It was that time of being in so much darkness that when I saw the light, it was like blinding, if that makes any sense.
I totally
Yeah,
understand.
and I knew I needed to hold on to my friends harder than I ever had. I needed to repair my relationship with my mom and be close to her, be close with my siblings. And at that point, all I wanted to do was just connect with people in deep and meaningful ways. There's a podcast that I really enjoy watching called Wild Cards, and it started from a woman who had just lost her father, and she said, and after that, all I wanted to do was talk about the meaning of life. All I want to do is talk about like the most important things, and I feel that too. I've just seen where the meaning in life comes from, and I just want to chase it. One of my favorite things to do is hike to the top of a mountain and scream. And scream just how amazing it feels to be alive.
I've done that.
And I had a moment a few weeks ago where it was late sunset. I got to the top of my mountain. I screamed, it feels so good to be alive. And I heard a response from a hiker who did the same thing. It does feel so good to be alive. And then I went, and he went, wow, 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 wow. And we went back and forth for a little while. And
that's awesome.
It's just those moments that are like, this is why we're here. This is what it's about. I don't care about the trivial things anymore. Because it's some people my age, I find it really difficult to connect to.
Yeah, you've seen some stuff.
I do consider myself an old soul, but long story short, I've seen where the meaning of life comes from, and I want to chase it. And a lot of that is connection, really real, genuine, vulnerable connection.
On top of all that, you seem like such a nurturer. So, like, you have a younger sister.
I do.
Are you just that big sister for her? Or are you like the little sister who's the big sister for your brothers too? Or
I do love my position because I have 4 older brothers that are the protection squad. But I also get to be the cool older sister who's like...
Right. You're like, I got you.
But I think I was kind of forced to be a nurturer when my mom got sick, and it was like, who's gonna raise my sister? Like, she was a huge gamer in a different way than me, where she liked to play online with her friends, and I'm so glad that she had that to get her through the days. But there came a point where it was like, is no one gonna help her? Is no one gonna stop her and tell her to go outside? Like, and so I wanted to step in, because we talked about earlier, in depression, a lot of the best thing we can do for ourselves is to help others. I wanted to be there for my sister.
Right.
But at the time, I was so uncared for that I also wasn't sure how to be there for myself.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. So I felt like I wasn't strong enough to help her. And then, a few years down the line, I still have guilt and regret over that time, because I'm like, I wish I was there for her more.
But you can't. Because it's taught you to be where you are now. And, well, let me explain something to you real quick.
Yeah.
If I can relieve you of any regret or doubt or any of that, if I can speak into your life in any shape, form, or fashion, I would tell you we're all going to have regrets. I have regrets of, man, I wish I wouldn't have said that to my son when he was, I wish I wouldn't have done that when we're all going to have those. It's how you bounce back from them that matters. You know, how vulnerable are you, and to say I'm sorry? Yeah. To how open are you to remember that and go back to that person? Just like you said about your friends, I wanted to make sure I held on to my friends. I wanted to go and apologize. It's how you come into yourself, right? Yeah. So that you realize, I need to mend that. I need to, and even if they don't accept it, I need to go back and say, hey, that was my bad, my fault,
That's right.
No regrets is what it is.
Yeah. It's
not about paying it forward. It's about going back and saying, hey, listen, this happened while I want to make sure we're cool. If we're not, I understand. I just want to make sure that I told. Don't, if you have made an effort, then you're okay. You're okay. You can move on from it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Because a lot of people hold on to it, and they hold on to it, and you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest journey of that, making that effort to mend those relationships and offer that forgiveness, is really the person I've really had to mend my relationship with the most, I think, was myself. Was like almost like to reach out to myself and be like, hey, I'm sorry for what I did to you, and I forgive you for what you did to me, and you're okay.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're going to be
Are
okay.
we cool?
Yeah, are we cool?
Are we cool? I mean, it sounds silly, but you do got to ask yourselves those questions sometimes.
Here's where it's not silly. Because at some point, once again, it goes back to other people. At some point, you saying, hey, are we cool? Because I got to move on and help somebody else. You got me?
Yeah.
At some point, you are going to have to be cool with who you are. So that if you and I right now, if we got sick, if we got a cold, oh my gosh, we're coughing, we're in this room, we got a cold.
Oh no.
How are we going to help somebody else? We got to take care of the cold. We got to make sure that we're okay. We don't want the other person to catch it. There's so many other things that we're no good for anybody else unless we're healthy or somewhat healthy, because we'll never be completely healthy, right?
No.
You know, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, we'll never be where we think we're supposed to be.
Yeah,
but that's what we also overthink, and people like me and you, we're dealing with what we've dealt with and deal with. You know, it's not like, it's over. This is something that's an ongoing thing,
and
right?
Let's make that very clear.
You know?
We are not done.
No, we're works in progress. Just like you are, and we will be, all of us. We are works in progress. So let's progress together. But on the real tip, man, it's like you're no good to anybody else if you're not healthy.
Yeah.
Like if you're sick, you can't be talking to people and coughing on them. You know what I mean? How are you going to help somebody else if you can't get out of bed?
Yeah.
So those are the things you got to take care of yourself.
That's right.
Mentally, physically, spiritually. You got to
That's true.
take care of yourself. So don't beat yourself up over stuff. Now listen, some situations are irreparable. Some aren't going to be rosy. You're not going to be able to patch up everything that has happened, whether it's on you or whether it's on them. But if you've made the attempt to say, hey, man, I'm trying to get over this, I just want to make sure that we're cool, then at least you're halfway there. No, just make sure it's not on you. Mm-hmm. You know, so don't go to bed, you know.
Yeah, we can't carry that with us. No.
Don't go to bed, you know, having wrath on you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
We can fix it, and at that point we can let it go. And if it can't be fixed, we still got to let it go.
Yeah, you got to dust off your feet and keep on walking.
That's right, because there's someone over there that needs our help too.
Yeah. Everybody's not going to like you. I learned that the hard way. My wife was the one who taught me that. My wife taught me that.
Isn't that
She
the
was like,
worst truth of this world?
Oh, man. Trying to be a people pleaser was my thing back in the day. I was like, I just want to make sure it's like, everybody's not going to like you, bro. There's always going to be a hater.
That's
you know,
true.
Like, you can be as nice as you want to be. Someone's going to be like, he's such a nice guy. Yeah, but... It's always going to be but don't you think that, well, maybe, you know, it's like, I love them too. I've learned to love my enemies, whether they hate me because of my skin color, because of how I roll, because of, you know, my faith. I've learned to love people anyway. Now, I've also learned in that I've got to love certain people from a distance because they're not going to receive who I am ever. And that's okay. But, hey, God created you, so I'm called to love you, so I'm going to love you. Doesn't mean I have to be around you all the time. Doesn't mean I have to like you, but I am called to love you. So I'm going to love you from a distance. I'm going to pray for you 9 times out of 10 from a distance. You know what I mean? But I'm called to love you, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, it took me a long time to get there.
Yeah. It
took me a long time to get there, and I still work on that daily, especially with things that are happening in the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, but I'm that's me. That's, you know, how I'm built.
That's a great way to, I think, protect our mental health, too.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
And thank you, by the way, for sharing what you did and for asking about me. I mean, that's really cool. And
no, we got to make sure you're good. You thought that was just when I'm at conventions?
The John Bentley special.
You're so funny.
But
of course.
Seriously, thank you. That means a lot. And yeah, I feel like in a way I can kind of let some of that go.
Yeah, you have to. You're going to hold on to baggage.
Sydney, my beautiful sister, if you're listening to this, I know you just moved to college and you're busy being asked on dates by a bunch of guys, but I love you and I'm sorry for not being there for you, but I was there for myself too, and I love you very much.
And Sydney, these dudes that are asking you on dates, I might need to meet them first because we don't want no foolishness happening. We can't have your little heart broken over some stupid stuff. What college?
BYU.
Oh, you're at BYU. Just be wise. Use discernment when you meet these dudes.
That's right. And let me make it clear, I need to meet them too.
Yep.
Oh boy, they got to pass the Ken test.
That's what I'm talking about, man. They got to pass the test, man. So we making a road trip, just so you know. No, don't
make us come out there now.
Like, why you got to mean my name? Don't say my. They'll see this. People will see this.
Yeah, send it to them. Maybe they'll learn something about community. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
John Bentley, thank you for being here and sharing your light with us today.
Oh, Candy,
and with
thank
me,
you for having me.
Like it is the biggest honor, and I don't even know what to say. Like my heart is just so full.
Thank you. I'm glad I could do that, but you've done the same for me. And thank you for inviting me. Yeah. Thank you for such a beautiful letter to invite me. You're something else, and you're going to change the world one person at a time, one step at a time, and maybe in big groups at a time as well. But you got to keep letting that light shine forth because you are something else. And I love that you got through whatever you were going through because I know there's more.
Thank you.
There's always more.
Always.
But continue to help other people get through it because, you know, you are a joy. You are a joy to be around. You light up the room, and that's our job, to change the atmosphere of the rooms that we go into.
Change the temperature.
You definitely do.
Oh.
So do what you do, girl. continue doing what you do. Don't stop.
Thank you.
Don't stop.
I'm very proud of the work that I've been able to do, because it's very difficult. It's very hard. And that's something I reiterate over and over again is I'm here and I'm doing this, but it comes with anxiety. It comes with fears, and that is okay to express every time. Vulnerability, vulnerability, vulnerability. Vulnerability does not mean that we are wounded.
Mm-hmm.
Its definition is just open to wound. Doesn't mean you are, just open to it.
Yeah.
This podcast is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but it is also the most fulfilling. And
you're rocking it. Daring to be vulnerable. I love it.
Dare to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
There we go.
Well, John, we have just one more question for you. And
Okay.
you had time to prep it too, because we gave you a
I
little sneak peek.
I forgot it, but it's in there somewhere.
It is our most vulnerable question. It's the question we ask everybody at the end of every episode. And as usual, my lovely listeners and viewers, I encourage you to please pause this recording and ask yourself this question. John, what is your favorite thing about yourself?
It's just for me,
Mm-hmm.
I guess the thing that I like about myself is that I consider myself to be a good husband and a good father and a good friend to people. And the thing that I like about myself is despite all of my shortcomings, and I have plenty of them.
We all do.
Plenty of them. I always fight to try to lead a life that is becoming of a man of God. So I think those are the things that I like about myself. What I like about myself is that I like other people, and I really do like people. I love people, and I'll pray for you in a heartbeat. I'm the person. That's one thing that I don't hesitate to pray for people, and that's the only thing I know that's worked for me, and I'm like, that's the only thing, that's one of the gifts I think I can give to other people.
I like that you like other people too. I think that's my favorite thing about you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That makes me happy. I feel
Well, then we did our job here today.
Yes, we did.
Thank you again
Yes,
for
we
coming
did.
on.
Are you kidding me? Thank you.
And do you want to clap us out?
I'm going to clap us out. 3, 2. That wasn't a good one. That was a good one. There we go. That's the clap.
Hi there, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of The Vulnerable.
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, please check out the description for a list of trusted resources that me and my mom, who is a licensed psychologist, came up with. You can like and subscribe, that's all great, but I would love if you could comment and share your story with us, and share this video with a friend who you think might need it.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Great. There's take one.